My name is Roya Marsh, and this is my TagUp Spotlight. My name is Roya Marsh. If I had to have a tag, my tag would be Champagne Poet. That's my Instagram handle, my Twitter handle. You can find me at most social medias as Champagne Poet. Champagne is my favorite beverage, and for a time, I was coming after Champagne Papi's throne, but I'm gonna let him live for a little bit. I gotta take a break, and gather my troops and reconvene. Born and raised in the Bronx, New York. I'm black, my mama black, my daddy black, they mamas and daddies is black. Somebody is white somewhere along the way, but that's not something I can control. But we here today. I grew up in the Parkchester area of the Bronx off the 6th line. I lived there from when I was a couple months old until I was 18, 17 and leaving to college. When I was born at Einstein Hospital, but my family actually lived at 213 Nagel Avenue. And they moved to Parkchester when I was probably like 5 months, 6 months old. They were looking for a bigger space. I am the youngest of 8 children. So as you can imagine, it was a lot of muds and up in that house, and we had to sort of expand. And then I shared a bedroom with my older sister for my entire life. I started writing when I was very young. I fell in love with reading. I used to ask for books for my birthday, books for Christmas. I don't know why. I don't know when it happened. Don't know what triggered that. I definitely think that that's something that I got from my mother, who is also a very inquisitive person and who sort of birthed the curiosity in me. And when I was young, I always wanted notebooks. Scholastic come to your school for the book fair. I'm grabbing pencils, notebooks, and erasers, and I'm just writing my thoughts out. I also came up in a time that hip hop was really, taking over. It wasn't even just that the Bronx was known as the birthplace of hip hop. It was that hip hop was the way a lot of people of my generation were learning to communicate with one another. And so, of course, I fell in love with that. Of course, I was freestyling while people were beatboxing and beating on the lunch tables, because that's what was hot, that's what was cool. And I recognized early on that I had that gift of gab, right? In terms of actually writing things down, I was probably 9, 10, 11, jotting into my notebook, definitely developing feelings of intimacy and stuff like that. So just trying to figure out, my own gender identity, my own sexuality, especially without having that language. So I think writing down in those notebooks was also allowing me to process who I was and who I was growing into. These days, I would define my sound as old school meets present day meets futuristic. I always want to be someone who can't be in a box, who can't be put in a closet, right? I think it's really important for me to be a light and an example for those who are coming up, making their way, but also to those who have preceded me, but may not have had as much clarity, right? And I say that to say inclusivity for me is way more important than exclusivity, but that does not mean that I don't believe that there are places that should be absolutely exclusive. Most of my pieces go untitled, but I would call the piece that I'm gonna perform today, I Am the BX. I would say that my process in writing this poem was an uphill battle. I love the Bronx. It's one of my favorite boroughs. It's the only borough that I would ever live in. And I've lived in every borough except for Staten Island, and somehow I've always gravitated back to the Bronx. I know we get a lot of slander day in and day out. But I also know that every other borough wants to be us. Every other state wants to be us. Everybody everywhere is wearing a Yankee cap. So I need them to consciously remember when they put that cap on their head, receding hairline or not, that Yankee Stadium, the old one and the new one, are still in the Bronx. Okay? Get off it. In any case, this poem is about my love for the Bronx, the things that I've seen. It's also a way to introduce myself to people who might have some negative connotations about the Bronx, or who might love the Bronx and couldn't figure out how to put it in words. I'll take that burden. I'm currently working on several projects. They're all books. Some of them will lead into multimedia aspects, which I think is really incredible. What's really exciting for me right now is working towards writing for my young people in the voice of myself as a young person, but really gravitating towards so much of the information that they know, that they hold, because there's actually no way to be able to tell a story that resonates with them without actually communicating with them. Outside of that, I'm always writing, I'm always facilitating, trying my best to dismantle white supremacy at every turn. You can find me on Instagram at Champagne Poet. Just because you follow me does not mean I'm gonna follow you back.
Thank you for the heads up.
Want to give shout out to BX Writers, Josue Caceres for throwing my name in the pot. Appreciate that always. Love to give a shout out to Ebony Janice, just cause you my nigga. America Hates Us. Y'all always doing the good work, so I'm throwing love out there. Throwing love out to Black Joy forever and always. If you really about that work and you want to support Black futures, check out Black Joy. That's BLKJOY.com. Black Joy. Again, this is Roya Marsh. This was my TagUp Spotlight. Shout out to the good people at TagUp Studios. Make sure you make your way and book them for the good work done.